And good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. It is Friday morning, the 14th of June. Important disclaimer and reminder for all traders and investors. The webinar is for educational purposes only and not a recommendation to buy or sell any particular financial instrument. Equities, futures, options, and currency trading have large potential rewards but also large potential risks. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the futures and options markets. Do not trade with money you can't afford to lose. The website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy or sell equities, futures, or options. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed in this channel. Past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Absolutely consult your registered financial advisor and your risk trading plan before ever investing or trading any financial instrument. So let's just fix this up really quick. You'll see this is the overnight. This is yesterday. Something very useful to remember here is that the current high was set in the Globex session, and it is pretty uncommon, as Ron would state, to let that hang out there and not come out and take it during the U.S. session. So it's something to be aware of. I'm going to color that red so we know where it is. Let's make the adjustments for yesterday's high and low. Let's see. Let's get out of here. And we will do value area high. Well, there's value area low, so value area high just shifted up. Value area low shifted to prior day's value area high. You can see the consolidation. It was basically balanced, which is pretty normal after having such a strong trend day over here on the 12th. So we would go high, low, and then over here what's most interesting is the single prints. The front and the back of the single prints are most interesting in that area. So I would expect a response from 19,431 area and then again at 19,374 area for a response back up. And let's see what else would be important. Yesterday's, so this goes away. This becomes the point of control. And what else am I going to mark off there? This goes away. Double prints, not single prints. So we'll just kind of leave the rest of that alone. And what's interesting is Globex higher low hasn't taken out the higher low from the prior session. So they're kind of all mushed together there. I'll mark them off. But Globex high, Globex low, and then unfair pricing and single print starting down here around 19,520. There's not much else to point out besides that. Mester's on the tape right now making comments. One of the things he said that was interesting is it's important not to wait too long to cut rates. So obviously the market didn't take too much out of that because we didn't make any kind of massive jump. We're currently trading down 45 on NQ and 24 on ES, and we'll just see again. The first clue is trading underneath yesterday's low. We've been unable to manage to trade below a prior day's low for quite a while, so that's the clue. And usually when you do that, when you're one timing to the upside, the market finds a way to trap back in and close back within range. Doesn't have to, no rules, but that's usually what it does, right? So if we go from and I don't have much else to add. I mean, I'm not bearish, that's for sure. So I don't have much else to add from a profile perspective. There's obviously parts of the chart that need to be repaired below, but kind of so what would be my response. Oh, mark this off too here. Naked volume point of control, and we'll print that, and we'll go from there. The light blue lines are the prior days point of control, and you can see they put in all the volume up at the high, trying to break it out overnight. We will print this chart. There's NQ for today. And we will just kind of go from there and see what's what. For some reason, green doesn't print on this chart. It's so odd. See that? It just doesn't print. That's odd. It should copy those over perfectly, and it's not. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but that's okay. Next, there's some important pieces that I've been covering with people in detail in coaching, but the first thing I want to say about this is, see this, I did the video on it, but if you'll see overnight, see when that blue ends, don't turn around and go, oh, it's short. So if you look where it ends right here, and yes, did it roll down a little bit? It did, right? Got outside the channel, it rolled down, but buyers are in still overall control of that market, right? As you can see here, it had been a mistake to go, well, it's short now because it's no longer on. You're still looking for the long. In this case, it was a tweezer bottom. We didn't really get a setup over here. The setup you got off this tweezer's bottom was the purple bar off the 24. They got closed above on price and took off to the upside, right? That's what it looked like with once it had momentum and it went supernova. But you would not want to short this. This will shut off way earlier. The other thing you want to notice about this when you're setting up your trades is when this first triggers. Okay, so that's where it first triggers. You would expect continuation to the downside. Now, my most aggressive traders can try shorts when that long indicator triggers because it's usually going to take a while. I'll show you a few examples. Let me just go back here. Okay, see when this triggers at first right here? If it would have lifted, there's usually continuation to come to the downside. It's usually not, oh, it's on, let me go long immediately kind of deal, right? In this case, it triggered here, and then it took 1, 2, 3 bars. You get the zero turn, and that's fine. That's a good turn, right? And then again, you'll see where it turns off. That's basically where it shuts off. That's basically where it shuts off, and you'll see it does not turn short, guys. It just doesn't. So what am I looking for once this occurs? If I'm looking for the short, what I'm doing is I'm coming over to my 75-cent chart. Let me get back to where it shut off. Okay. That's where it shut off. And what I am looking for is once that shuts off, is I'm looking for my first pink arrow down to work against after that is shut off, before I start looking for shorts. And then I'll show you the second one at 12 o'clock. Where was it? There we go. Okay, here. So see it shut off where that red line is. I'm going to the 75-cent chart, and I'm not looking short until I get a pink arrow down. That's where I'm starting to look for my shorts, right? And what I would expect is rotations to start to open up to the downside on signal. So if you look, this is your first potential signal. It's a 75-cent chart, so it gives you a little bit of extension. Remember, all these are going to have extensions. The reversal bar, extension, reversal bar, extension, reversal bar, extension. It does not mean, right, just because that blue shuts off, and the same with the red, just because the red shuts off does not mean it's long. I would suggest you look for the pink arrows to light up first on the 75 cent. I'm going to fix this 75 cent right now. on the no supply, no demand settings, we're going to do fill color. Okay, there's one. Where is it? Where is it? I'm missing that. I know it's up here somewhere. There we go. Okay. Okay. So now, trying to see if there's anything else. Oh, I know what else I wanted to do. Hold on a sec. I want to turn off those green. They're all over the place. Okay. There we go. So the chart's a little bit cleaner now. So that's what I'm looking for next, right? And it does not mean that it's going to roll back down. And also longs over shorts. So the same thing if you go back and look in the morning outside of just location. Okay, this is when we started to get the long. Again, you will see the long indicator triggers, right? The up arrow is the first indication that it actually rolled another 50 points before it gave you the long. It's just an indication. It does not mean start firing blindly, right? And you will see that if you waited patiently, we ended up getting that long to the left, and you'll see it ends there, right? But the longs still work quite nicely even though it ends, okay? The longs still work quite nicely even though it ends. So it's just an early warning system is all it is. Longs over shorts, and you use the rest of your tools. The other area, I think everyone did very well. I heard from no one that had a hard day this week in terms of big drawdowns. I think the whole team did great mentally. Randy did a great job sticking to his trading plan, along with everyone else. Dan did a great job. And I was talking to Dan, so one of the things that will happen to you as you start to do better, Dan expressed to me he was a little frustrated because he didn't have as big a week as he thought he would. But if you take it back a couple of weeks ago, where he was really struggling on FOMC weeks, right? And he really made that adjustment. But the problem is your brain makes the adjustment so quickly that your demands go higher, right? So your demand, if you kind of suck on FOMC, kind of goes, man, what I'd give just to be up a little bit or not get smoked. But once you do that 2 or 3 times and you don't get smoked or you don't get hurt and you're up on the P&L and you're just kind of flattish to up, you kind of go, well, this sucks. I should be up a lot, right? You forget where the old struggle was and where the new struggle was. So you need to put a timeline in on your trading so you have a reference back to where you were a couple weeks ago so you can gauge your progress. We're in such the moment business that we forget where we were even 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, right? The old trades are gone. You've forgotten the bad decisions. You've forgotten some of the good decisions, right? And your benchmark goes up. Our benchmark for performance goes up very, very quickly. So that being said, right, it's Friday. Choose your trades wisely. My suggestion is you get your money and go home. This is not a commentary on whether the PA will be good, bad, or indifferent. This is a commentary on we've been slugging it out now for 4 days in a row. It's been slow a great deal of the day, which is actually quite just as taxing to me as it is when it's fast, right? Because I have to work on not hitting the button. So I want you to work on not hitting the button. I want you to work on appreciating the good work that you did and take it into the weekend strong, right? Make sure you're taking the trades. Define them beforehand what you're looking for. So I'm looking for zero trades, right? Meaning the zero at the bottom and then stuffed. I'm watching for my early warning indicator, long or short, after the open. And I am looking for the arrows, right? And the traps into the arrows. That's my trade plan for today. And the absorption on the diamonds, which I'll call out if I see it, right? So you should have a clear idea of which trades you're taking. You should have an idea of which trades you're taking and just be relaxed. But the one thing you don't want to do is have a horrible day on a Friday because you have to carry it with you for 3 days, right? And just makes you anxious the whole weekend through. Just walk through it and take it nice and normal. Oh, the other piece that I'm looking for, this is important, I forgot. The big 4x4 prints on the footprint, okay? And what I mean by 4x4, you all have this footprint in front of you, right? What you are looking for doesn't usually show up overnight, but it might have. Let's see if they put it in up top. They didn't. It was a quiet night. They put it in down low somewhere, I'm going to bet. Let's see where we had it yesterday. 4x4. It's harder to hunt and peck that thing out. This was close, but no cigar. But we will see them where they show up 4 wide. I wonder why. Data limiting, 3 days. Okay, insert, reload, recalculate. I had plenty of 1,000 prints yesterday, particularly near the open. But they're all gazon now, which is not unusual. However, I know we had them at the open yesterday. And we had them right up here. They're just not there now. But they do show up in regular hours. I posted a picture of it. This was 1,000 print right in here. It's just, oh, there it is. Good, good, good. I had it too narrow. Sorry. Okay, so see this right over here at 838? That print right there, when I get them 4x4, particularly on the edge, but really anywhere in there, that is my signal that we are going to roll to the downside. Now, 2 things. The first backside test into that area is generally very good, right? That first backside test, and then you'll say, so I like it when it's in the direction that I want to trade, but you will also notice that it gets backside tested and rejected. And then here's a good question. Well, what if I get this? What if I get this on the way back up? Well, then you have to make a judgment call, right? But the other way to do that is to let your establish the point of control underneath, get the backside test back up, and then look for the setup to reject out and roll later, right? And that is, so in no uncertain terms, that's what I'm looking for. This is why, if you go back through the recording yesterday, I would have mentioned to Ed, he uses a momentum indicator, not Ed, Dan. He uses a momentum indicator to trade with, and I would have said, this is where you're looking. So over here, these were 3 purple bars. It didn't actually print like this, and I didn't look at the 75 cents. So on the 50 cent, it showed 3 purples, and this is where you got your gray bar, in essence, with the point of control underneath. And I said, this is where your momentum will pick up. But this backside test became very important for the roll to the downside. And then when we got to the low, there's your almost 4x4. I believe this is 4x4 in real time, but I can't swear to it. Let's see if we got another one. And then here's your other 4x4 in the direction of for the short. So it does show when they're trapping up top, right? But again, where I'm primarily focused is when I get them in the direction I want to trade. I would not trade it off the 75 cent without looking for a retrace. It's a big stop, 20 to 22 points, okay? But on the backside test back up into that, I'm looking for the roll down, and that's all I got. Any questions, guys? Floor's open. I'm not looking to short, so at the open we have, okay, we just had Mester coming across the tape. He actually wasn't scheduled, interestingly enough, but he was on the tape. We had exports, imports at 7:30. We have U of M at 9 a.m., right? Inflation reports. And then Mester speaks at 12:15, right? Hey Siri, set an alarm for 12 p.m. Fed's Mester speaks.
Your Fed's Mester Speaks alarm is set for noon.
And then ECB's president. Hey Siri, set an alarm for 12:15. ECB president speaking.
Done.
Okay, and that's it. I probably won't be here for those, realistically. Thanks. Got it. There you go, sir. Uh, got it. That should take care of that problem. Sorry about it. And other than that, let's go make some money, guys. That's it. Have your 75 cent up. Look for those 4x4 prints. Start learning how they interact with the market. They're important. Do not be shocked if they walk in keys straight up after the open. A lot of people are just in a bad way there. I'm glad I'm not the one trying to short that in any kind of massive way. Opening up near yesterday's point of control and well off on Globex high and Globex low. And I'm going to wrap up that market preview.